Thursday morning. It's really, really great to be with you all today. I'm Nancy Kaysen. I'm hosting this show this morning, and this is not Brene Beatty.
No, I'm not.
No, it's not. This is Coleman Foss, who happens to be the CEO. Is that correct?
I am.
At Sky
Still
Ridge
am.
Medical Center. I wanted to be sure that CEO was the correct terminology. And I really appreciate Coleman getting up this morning. Of course, you get up this early every morning, don't you?
Well, pretty close to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, because he has to be over at Sky Ridge on the job. But I appreciate Coleman coming in today. And today's going to be basically medical day, folks, and we're just going to talk a little bit about what's happening in Cleveland, Bradley County with our medical atmosphere and everything that's happening, because one of the things that we know from trying to recruit industry and large businesses into Cleveland, Bradley County, they ask about the schools, they ask about the workforce, they ask about our infra system, utilities, et cetera, and they ask about our medical situation.
Sure.
And we're very, very proud to have the quality of medical care we have in Cleveland, Bradley County. So, Coleman, tell us a little bit. First of all, how did you end up here?
How did I end up in
Yes,
Cleveland
yes.
or here on your show?
No, well, you ended up here because I asked you, and I appreciate so much you doing this. But how did you end up in Cleveland?
I wound up in Cleveland. I had been an administrator, CEO of 2 hospitals in West Tennessee. They were going through various different stages. I was with Methodist, HCA, and then Methodist. And I was in Martin, Tennessee, where UT Martin is located. I spent 4 years there. And then I was in Dyersburg, Tennessee for about 7.5 years. And during the time I was in Dyersburg, there was a transition, and the same ownership group that now owns Sky Ridge wound up buying our hospital and several other hospitals in West Tennessee. And I had been in Dyersburg for, like I said, 7 years, and things were going pretty well. And it's actually getting to play a little bit of golf. Things were starting to smooth out, and be careful what you wish for, because next thing I know, I got a phone call saying, Coleman, we need you to go over to Cleveland, which was good because my family's from North Georgia.
That put you closer to them.
It did, but not too close, but just close enough.
I do understand.
Yeah, and so actually it's 5 years this week I've been in Cleveland.
Oh, goodness.
So,
that's wonderful.
yeah, and
This week.
This week.
I'd love to tell you all I intentionally did that, but
No.
but the surprise look on my face tells you I did not intentionally do that.
So Amy and the kids and I moved over here. Well, actually I was here about a month beforehand, but as you know, at the time that I came, there was a lot of transition going on. The 2 hospitals were still kind of going through the merging of what was going on, and that had its ups and downs. And so actually I was speaking at Rotary this week, kind of talking about how we've changed in the last 5 years, how things have significantly become better in the community from a medical standpoint. Of course, you know this being on the board, but our quality scores, I'm proud to say, are really, in fact, this past quarter that we had the highest we've ever had. Both are 98% plus, which is an A plus. Our patient satisfaction scores are vastly improved over where they were 5 years ago. 95+%. Physician satisfaction scores have been trending upward for the last 5 years. Employee satisfaction, which was a huge issue for us 5 years ago, has continued to move forward. So all of that coming together, and then financially the hospital's in much more solid footing than it was 5 years ago. So I guess where I am is we've got all the basics taken care of, the foundation back in place, but you've always got to move forward, and you've always got to stay up. And healthcare, as everybody knows, is a very, very expensive industry. I mean,
yes.
I basically have about $1 million a year to spend on capital unless we're doing an extremely special project like the new ER or something like that. And I mean, one piece of radiology equipment can spend $1 million very quickly. So it's a challenge, and with all that's going on the political scene in Washington, regardless of who gets elected, we know that there's changes afoot in healthcare. So we've got, we're trying to continue to make this a very strong community hospital, and I think that it's well back on the track with that. But now we've got to get into the subspecialties, and we're partnering with doctors in Chattanooga on cardiac, on vascular, on hopefully on cancer, on orthopedics, and of course we were able to bring the spine surgeons in. So we've done a lot of things in some of the subspecialties, but that's all to support our primary care base of our physicians who are taking care of the people in Bradley County. And we'll meet with Dr. Borma here in a minute, and he's, as you continue to build the subspecialties, that also attracts the primary care doctors.
And that's wonderful that we have these things, that we can attract these doctors. Now, our ER, which is no longer new.
No, it's
but
3
we were
years
excited
old.
what it was.
Yeah, it's 3 years old now, and believe it or not, Nancy, we set a record last week. last Monday we had 205 patients through the ER in one day.
In one day.
In one day, and that I think that's a record since we opened the new one, and you know, we're trending to be close to 60,000 ER visits this year, which only Erlanger sees more than that. You know, people always go, well, gosh, Memorial and Park Ridge, they don't see as many patients as we do. Of course, we're the only ER in the county, but you're 100% right. As Bradley County grows, as industry's attracted here, you know, we bring in the Walkers and the Amazons and even the Volkswagens on the edge of the county. As that grows, that does nothing but make the community grows. Well, as the community grows, the hospital grows. The hospital grows, that becomes more attractive to new industries. And so, I mean, there's several cases right here in the state of Tennessee where you can see as a town has grown, the hospital has grown, and Murfreesboro, Jackson, there are several communities that have really taken off.
It is very cyclical because having served as chairman of the board at the chamber, the first time we looked at Walker, you know, I'm going to take partial credit for that, although, you know, Jeff Morlock probably gets more credit than I do because they actually signed on the dotted line, actually with Cameron. But, you know, one of the things that the fellas, even the guys from Germany kept saying is we need to be sure that, you know, should there be an accident, should there be a situation, that we have good quality medical care. And we were thrilled that we could ensure them that they did have.
Well, and you know, I mean, you know, Jerry Devane and Madison Torrance and the whole group of ER doctors over there, they've got local roots and they take a lot of pride in the level of our ER. And I know sometimes people may say, well, gosh, I had to wait for a while. We've gotten the total length of stay, not just the wait. We've gotten the total length of stay down significantly. Now, there are times when it can still back up a little bit, but I haven't seen a total length of stay above about 4 hours, and I don't know how long. And our goal is to get it down to 2.5 hours, and more often than not, we're pushing that number.
Which would be wonderful. And the thing about it is, Sky Ridge is right here.
Right.
You know, you want to go to Erlanger or Memorial, you're going to have to drive 30, 45 minutes depending on traffic. So you've already wasted that much time that you could be getting quality care.
Right, and we've talked about this too. In the episodes of a heart attack or stroke, time is so critical, and we can start putting the medicines into you that can save tissue, can save blood flow to the vital organs and things like that. So you're really better off. I mean, people are thinking, well, gosh, if I'm going to have open heart surgery, which we don't do, am I better off going down to Chattanooga? The answer is no. Let us take care of you. We've got all of that. We do it day in and day out, and we can what they call package the patient to get them ready to be sent down there.
Like stabilized.
Right.
You can get them stabilized till they get there.
Exactly.
Now, we do some heart procedure type things, so let's talk about that a minute.
We do. Of course, we've done diagnostic caths, which is just going in and seeing if there's a blockage for quite some time. In February of this year, we started going in and actually putting stents in to patients who we felt were of a lower acuity. I mean, not somebody who might just have a massive MI, but the same doctors who do it down at Memorial, Dr. Kahn, Dr. Ledford, Dr. Monroe, they're coming up here now, and they're doing these stents up here. And they'll tell you if they think this is too risky to do up here because we don't have open heart backup, then they'll send them on down. But most of those patients can be done right here locally, and we've started doing them. And our hope and our goal is to continue to grow that affiliation and that partnership. Of course, the local cardiologists are part of Chattanooga Heart Institute, but they work in tandem with their interventional guys down in Chattanooga. And like I said, they're coming up here to do the cases, which is really outstanding for our county.
Well, I know when Flavis was first diagnosed with his atrial fib, he was sent by his GP down to the Heart Institute, but then come to find out, Dr. Powers, in fact, in Chattanooga, they said, Dr. Powers can handle you, so handed him off to Dr. Powers, and he doesn't have to go to Chattanooga twice a year now. He just goes over and sees Dr. Powers, which is, a 5-minute drive, which is wonderful, and it's just great that we can offer that. And we've also got a new neonatal situation. We do in our nursery, and that was another thing that we'd heard from a lot of people, was that, if I have a baby here at Sky Ridge, am I going to have access to that higher level of care? Well, again, the neonatal group that covered T.C. Thompson's nursery for many, many years, they put mid-levels up here, and they are constantly nurse practitioners who are trained in nothing but neonatal intensive care. So they're there on site to help take care of any babies, but they're in constant consultation with the neonatologist, which is a very similar situation with at T.C. Thompson. I mean, the neonatologists are sort of on backup call with the nurse practitioners there in the nursery, and
you know, it gives everybody a greater comfort level, not only our employees, but obviously the mothers and even the pediatricians in town. I mean, they'll tell you, they're used to dealing with kids who've got colds and fevers and this. They're not in the nursery 24/7. And so the ability to have them available for C-sections or just any child that we think may have some issues. Again, obviously, if it's a child that's very, very sick, we're going to get it down to TC Thompson or wherever it needs to be. But we can take care of so much more now than we used to be able to right here locally.
And when we talk about getting them down there, we have a helipad now?
We do.
Okay.
Yeah, the helipad's right outside the new ER. And of course, Erlanger has their helicopter that flies in here, and then there's AirVac. So there's two air ambulance services that services. Both of them fly pretty much to Chattanooga in entirety.
And that's probably, what, 15 minutes to get them from there to
there,
if
yeah,
it's
even
there.
that. Yeah.
Right,
I think
if
it's
it's
13
there.
minutes.
And I want to get a plug in here because next month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Right.
I just had a mammogram, folks, and I had it at Sky Ridge.
Yes, it's at our West Side campus,
Yeah.
our digital mammo. It's
Couldn't
the latest
ask
in
for any
technology.
better care than I get, and this isn't the first time I've had it there. I
Yeah.
continually go back.
Well, I appreciate that. And it's we've got a great service. And West Side, if you're not familiar, is the old Cleveland Community Hospital. And it's much easier to get in and out of. I mean, we know that our hospital's big and maybe a little bit intimidating to some people from a parking standpoint or from a registration standpoint. West Side is easy to get in and out. There's physician offices over there, and actually we've got plans to do some renovations over there and make it even easier to get in and out. So we're really trying to gear that towards outpatient.
Well, I just went in the front door and went around to the registration desk and sat down. I took a book to read just in case, and I
Right.
sat down, and the gal said, "Come on over, we'll get you now." And I thought, well, golly, you know, I didn't even get a page read in my book. So we're excited about what Sky Ridge is doing here in Cleveland, Bradley County, and it's great to know that we have this medical facility here.
Oh, I appreciate that. And there are many, we're blessed. We have outstanding group of doctors in this community. I think they're very caring and compassionate, not only about their patients, but about the community in general. They want to see healthcare move forward. And I think we've been able to establish some really good rapport with the doctors to try and figure out what makes sense for Cleveland and Bradley County to move forward on healthcare.
Absolutely. And before we go to commercial break, I want to thank you personally because you have done a lot of what has been done, and you stepped into a booger bear of a situation because I was on that board too, and I know you stepped into a booger bear of a situation, and you've just done great things with it. And
Well,
I know
that.
there's things we still need to do at Sky Ridge, but you've just been great and involved in the community, out where people can see you and know who you are, and
Well, I appreciate that.
that's great.
I would love to say I moved here with a full head of hair, but that wouldn't be true either. But it has grayed a lot since I've been here.
Well, yes, I noticed there is a little more. Folks, we'll be right back with you because we're going to bring in one of the new doctors that's now with us and talk to him for a few minutes. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Great local sports right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television. Keep up to date on all your Walker Valley sports news Wednesdays with the Walker Valley Sports Zone. Get a behind-the-scenes look at all the local high school area football with the pregame Thursdays at 10. And it's a Friday night tradition. Football Friday, every Friday night at 11 o'clock, right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Has your disability application been denied? Are you frustrated with the administration's processing of your claim? Do you feel as though the administration simply does not understand why you cannot work? You're not alone. My name is Matthew Coleman, and I'm an attorney representative. I find that many of my clients share these concerns and others. As a representative, it's my job to communicate your claim to the administration in a language that they can understand. As an attorney, it's my duty to fight for the disability benefits that you deserve. Come talk to me. The Social Security Law Center at Logan Thompson, PC.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000 bucks. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
And we are back, and good morning to all you folks. Today's Medical Day. In case you missed it in the little first segment there, I'm Nancy Kaysen. Co-hosting today is Coleman Foss, CEO of Sky Ridge Medical Center. And this nice-looking gentleman over on the other side of Coleman is one of our newer physicians in town. This is Dr. Paul Borema. Did I do anywhere? Was I close?
Very close.
Borema.
Yes.
Borema. Well, I've been practicing that, and I knew I didn't do it right. So, Borema. And we're so good to have you. First of all, have you on TV with me today, but to have you in Cleveland, Bradley County.
Well, thank you very much. I'm excited to be here this morning.
Well, tell us a little bit. Everybody out there wants to know. New doc in town. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm actually an East Tennessee native. Grew up in Ooltewah. Went to undergrad at University of Tennessee, Chattanooga, and then went out to Memphis for medical school. Had a great experience out there. Was glad to return back to this area for residency, and actually did my training down at Erlanger Hospital with the family medicine residency down there. My wife is also a native from this area, grew up in Harrison, and we have two wonderful little girls. We're excited to be raising them in this area.
So you are now living in Cleveland.
We are kind of on the outskirts of Chattanooga right now.
Oh, okay.
So.
That's okay. We have that situation happen some, so we won't hold that against you.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, you're the one of the new kids on the block. What kind of physician are you?
So I'm a family medicine physician. We in our practice at Family Medicine Center, we take children as young as 2 years of age all the way up to the geriatric population. So it's a pretty extensive population. It's exciting to be able to take care of whole families and that sort of thing. We also do quite a few in-office procedures and have a lot of availability as far as radiology in our office with ultrasound, x-ray, and also do some minor procedures in the office as well.
Wow. Okay, so y'all are really set up. So you're with what group now?
It's Family Medicine Center. We're off of West Side Drive. It's a very well-established group here in Cleveland. Very excited to be a part of it. I feel like I've stepped into a great situation and am just thrilled to be here.
Who are the other doctors with you there?
Dr. Chastain, Dr. Mazzolini, Dr. Thompson, and Dr. Hayes.
Good group of folks. Very good.
Probably
group of
names
folks.
that are familiar to the community. For
Probably
sure.
so. Probably so. Now, as the new kid on the block, are you taking new patients?
I am, absolutely. Either by appointment at any point during our office hours, which doors open at 8:10, and we take the last appointment at 4:30. We also take walk-ins, so that's kind of on an as-needed basis. Very easy to access the care at our office, and I think it's a great resource for the community.
Now, walk-ins, that's interesting, Paul,
Mm-hmm.
because how many doctors walk-ins?
Well, as practices get busier, there tends to be fewer walk-in opportunities. We've been able to, so to speak, keep the door open through a policy of accepting walk-ins throughout the day. I think it's our patients appreciate it, and occasionally we'll get patients from other physicians who have a PCP who just need to be seen on an acute basis, and you know, we're more than happy to help with the care there as well.
That is great. And in recruiting physicians, that's another thing that Sky Ridge does in recruiting physicians. How did you find out about Paul?
Well, we have extensive physician recruiting that we do, but as he mentioned, he's at Erlanger, and I'm not sure how your name came through, but Donna Smalley, my physician recruiter, who does an outstanding job, said, hey, you know, I'm familiar with this guy. He's down at Erlanger doing his residency and wants to stay in the area. And we knew that the family medicine clinic was looking for somebody. And they actually, believe it or not, had talked to several candidates, and they kept saying, no, we'll know the right person when we find him. And I said, well, let's bring him up and let's see if he is a match. And I guess you had heard about that group, that clinic, before you came up.
I had, yes.
And they just hit it off like clockwork, and that's a great group of physicians.
It is a great group. It really is.
They do a great job of primary care. You know, my family uses them, and they're always ready and very accommodating to help people out. So, you know, they had reached a point where their practice was pretty full, and they were needing a new person to come in so that they could be able to take new patients, especially with the model they have of taking walk-ins. And Dr. Borman has come in and filled that role outstandingly. So
see, this just fascinates me, the walk-ins,
Mm-hmm.
because you just don't hear of that anymore, and that is a wonderful opportunity. Now, those of you watching TV, let's not all show up this morning at their office, but I think that's wonderful that y'all are able to do that.
Absolutely. And I think we're going to continue to do that. I think it's been an effective way for the group to practice. So.
Well, let me ask you, without putting you on the spot, and you docs that are in the practice, don't listen to this if you happen to be listening. When you were looking, coming out of your residency, when you were looking for a place to go, what were you looking for?
That's a good question. You know, there's a certain scope of practice that I wanted to participate in. And outpatient medicine was what I really felt was my strong suit. I love the relationships with the patients. I love, over time, getting to know them and being a part of their lives. So finding a fit as far as a practice that had a similar ideal was important. Also, just getting to know the physicians was important, and finding a good fit for me was an important aspect of that. So I felt like our ideals were very similar in the way that they practice is similar to how I was trained, which is a great reflection of the physicians that are already there. Also, just really excited to be a part of the Cleveland community. This is a growing area, as Coleman's already mentioned, and you know, there's a great need for primary care. So it just seemed like a great opportunity to be a part of this community.
Well, see, that's what I love about primary care. You said you take them from 2
Mm-hmm.
all the way through.
That's right.
So you develop a relationship with these people, and they can even pick up the phone and call into the office and say, my allergies have kicked back up, or whatever the situation is, and you're familiar with them and they're familiar with you. So that's what I love about what your group does. I think that's wonderful, and I'm sure you all have a multitude of patients because you all do that.
That's right. The neat thing about being able to take care of a whole family is that you know the dynamic there. You know the picture that's present, and a lot of times those dynamics and the environment at the home plays into the care that we give our patients. So I think it's an ideal model as far as continuity and ability to care for the patient in a whole fashion.
See, that's a wonderful concept, because I hadn't even thought about the family dynamics fitting into that some.
he also mentioned, I'm getting my plug in here for the hospital.
Go, go. That's
he
why
mentioned
we're here
that
today.
they do outpatient, and they do everything on an outpatient basis. But they still utilize the hospitalist. And I know there's been a lot of discussion, but almost all actually all the primary care doctors in Bradley County use hospitalists. And what's good about that, I won't say it's unique because I think it's happening pretty much everywhere these days, but the good aspect of that is Dr. Borma identifies somebody who needs hospitalization or needs additional testing. He can send them over to the hospital, and the hospitalist will work in tandem with him and say he's got all the background information. That's always one of the concerns about somebody using a hospitalist. They're saying, well, this doctor doesn't know me. Well, they can get in touch with Dr. Borman. He can say, here's what's going on. They'll manage the patient in the hospital, and then upon the patient's discharge, they give all that information back to their office. So when the patient comes in for follow-up with him, he knows exactly what happened in the hospital.
Right, so they're handed back off to you.
That's great.
And that's a great working relationship there, and I think that's one of the problems when we first started at Sky Ridge with the hospitalist. So people didn't understand exactly how they worked. So I'm sure that you all in your practice explain to people as you're sending them to the hospital, I'm going to be there by phone. Now, there'll be another doctor physically taking care of you, but I will know what's happening with you.
Absolutely. It is neat to see the continuity, and you're right, Coleman, one of the arguments people haven't wanted to move to hospitalists is they're worried about that continuity.
Right.
What I've seen in Cleveland is that when we send patients to Sky Ridge, usually what I will do, especially if they're going to go in through the ER, I'll go ahead and call the triage nurse, call ahead, let them know the patient's coming. And I think that facilitates a certain understanding as far as what's coming in and what we anticipate needs to be done as they're evaluated. And then on the flip side of that, when they do get admitted to the hospital, the large majority of the times that I've seen, we have the discharge summary before the patient hits the door back to our office. And if that's not the case, the Sky Ridge system is very flexible as far as giving us the opportunity to pull those records up through our computers in the office and to access that information, or put a quick fax in to get that information that we need.
And speaking of computers, we've all gone to them, haven't we?
We have. We're going to a full electronic medical record by 2015. We'll be completely electronic, and we'll be able to interface with the doctors. I mean, we can send him a report, but he'll be able to pull all that information up in his office, that everything that occurred in the hospital,
and probably almost to the point of as it's happening.
Yeah, it'll almost be concurrent, right?
Which is great.
Right.
Now, tell me a little bit about your involvement in the community. Have you jumped in yet and done anything exciting?
Well, I haven't done a whole extensive amount with the Cleveland community. We have, I'm going to be speaking with some of the local groups here in town over the next few months. I've already set up some engagements with that, and the people at Sky Ridge have been kind enough to pursue those opportunities for me. So definitely seeking out those opportunities to be a part of the community. So I think in the near future, we're definitely looking at those opportunities and excited about them.
And how long have you been here?
I started with Family Medicine Center August 1st. So
well, we haven't really given you much time to get real involved in the community yet, have
yeah,
we?
I'm getting my feet wet and getting adjusted to the work schedule, and so it's a process, I suppose.
He's got a big patient load already. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, you know, anytime we get a new doc in town, the very first question is, are you taking new patients? So you've already answered that. Yes, you are, and call and make an appointment, or just go over there if you need to walk in. But I think that's one of the things that people look for with new doctors is, you know, can I use this doctor? Is he already booked up? Is he full?
Absolutely.
And some of our older, and I'm not referring to your age out there, doctors, but some of our older doctors that have been here, their caseload is pretty well booked.
Right, right.
The accessibility is definitely there, especially with me being new in the community. So, absolutely, that's a definite perk.
Well, we're really excited about having you here. And now, I did this to my new Methodist minister that came on. I said, could you give us your phone number? And he said, no. And then he said, why don't you tell him, Nancy? I couldn't remember the phone number at the church either, but do you have, can you tell them how to reach you to make an appointment? Okay, good.
Yep, our phone number at Family Medicine Center is 423-472. Oh my goodness, I just went blank.
Okay.
I got it, 472-1511.
Okay, 1511. See,
yes.
472-1511. That's pretty simple. But And your hours are, you said 8:10?
We open the doors at 8:10,
Whew.
and we take the last appointment, or you can sign in as late as 4:30.
Okay, so that means you're probably there till 5:30, 6 o'clock most days.
Most days.
Yeah.
And y'all have a clinic on Sunday?
We do have
Oh,
office
you're
hours on
kidding.
Sunday. I forgot to mention that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Once again, open the doors at 8:10, and then we see patients up until 12 o'clock.
Yeah.
And most of
So
those are walk-ins, or are those appointments?
Those no new patients on Sundays. It's a service for acute visits, and it's a
Okay.
pretty rapid pace. So if you have an illness or need to be seen acutely, absolutely use Sunday mornings as an opportunity to come in.
Wow.
Once you've established during the week with
Almost
that practice.
unheard of.
Yeah, it's a strong
Almost.
group.
Now, don't tell me you make house calls, because then I will be blown out of the seat, you know, because, I mean,
Right.
everything else you've said, you just about blown me away on, like walk in and we're open on Sunday and everything. But, folks, this is a wonderful opportunity. If you're looking for a GP,
Family practitioner.
family practitioner, someone that'll take you from age 2 on up until they pick you up, you know, anyway. And I, you know, since I just had a birthday, a big one, Monday of this week, you know, I'm always looking for somebody that might just go ahead and finish it on out. So, but Paul, this is great, and thank you so much, and welcome to Cleveland. We're so glad to have you here. And Coleman, I think you did a good job on your recruiting.
Well, I appreciate that. I did. Donna Smalley. was
Donna
the one
Smalling
who
did.
made it happen.
And so, give us that phone number real quickly one more time.
Okay, 423-472-1511.
Great. Okay, so if you're looking for a family doctor, give them a call, and they'll be glad to see you. And Paul is taking new patients. So don't go away. We'll be right back. You know, to have a doctor, you got to have a nurse. So we're going to talk to a nurse in just a minute. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
Great local sports right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television. Keep up to date on all your Walker Valley sports news Wednesdays with the Walker Valley Sports Zone. Get a behind-the-scenes look at all the local high school area football with the pregame Thursdays at 10. And it's a Friday night tradition. Football Friday, every Friday night at 11 o'clock, right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland, is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Has your disability application been denied? Are you frustrated with the administration's processing of your claim? Do you feel as though the administration simply does not understand why you cannot work? You're not alone. My name is Matthew Coleman, and I'm an attorney representative. I find that many of my clients share these concerns and others. As a representative, it's my job to communicate your claim to the administration in a language that they can understand. As an attorney, it's my duty to fight for the disability benefits that you deserve. Come talk to me. The Social Security Law Center at Logan Thompson, PC.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat-screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000 bucks. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
And we are back, and I told you that every doctor needs a nurse, and so Nancy Bean is here with us, and Nancy is herself a nurse, but she is chairman of the nursing department at Cleveland State Community College.
Dean of Health and Wellness, Director of Nursing.
There we go. Okay, bigger title than I gave her, and that's good because she does a lot of things with nursing here. And so I wanted Nancy to come on today and talk to us, first of all, about the nursing program at Cleveland State, and because we certainly don't want that to be the best kept secret, and also about how you all do affiliate with Sky Ridge on some of this. So tell us about the nursing program here at Cleveland State.
Well, we're very proud of our nursing program.
Great program.
For one thing. And if you have been taken care of in a hospital, not only at Sky Ridge, but even in the region, you have probably crossed paths with someone that has trained here at Cleveland State. And so that's comforting to know that you've got
It is. It's awesome.
folks in your neighborhood that you know. We offer an Associate of Applied Science in Nursing. It does prepare the nurse to sit for the licensing exam called NCLEX, and that is it's the national licensing exam. And so they once they graduate, they're eligible to apply for that license, and then shortly, hopefully, they become registered nurses and begin working in the area.
Okay, so they do become an RN.
Yes.
And that's wonderful. Okay, now your nursing program here, I mean, you can't take 300 students at a time, can you? Or can you?
No.
Okay.
No.
How does this work?
Well, there is an application process, and actually, if you'll go on the Cleveland State website and just type nursing in the search box, then follow the links, and then you'll come to the nursing page. There's an information packet that tells all of the admission requirements and that sort of thing. There's an entrance exam. There is a grade point average that has to be maintained. So it is a selection process. There's a deadline for application, and I'll throw in the pitch for that for March the 1st. Each March the 1st is the deadline for that following fall class.
Oh, okay. So you have to get your act together.
Yes.
Prior to, okay.
Yes. And then we also have admitted an evening class, and we admitted them for the first time in January of 2012, and the next time we will admit for January of 14.
Oh, wow.
It's a part-time program in the evening, or class. It's not a separate program. It's the same learning outcomes and those types of things that we do in the day. It's just chopped up a little different so that it makes the hours more part-time. And we have people in that program who are in that class who are unable to come during the day. So we're really excited about the options that are available to people who've always wanted to go to nursing school, but they work or they are the main support of their family, so they can't cut themselves loose for daytime classes. All the classes, prerequisite and co-requisite, can be taken in the evening or online.
Oh, online.
The nursing classes are partly online, but all of the skills and all of the clinicals, of course, are live. And that because my philosophy is that you could not be a nurse if you don't touch people and interview them and assess them and those kind of things.
Right.
So we would never have a program that doesn't do that live.
Right, because you don't want somebody drawing blood who has only done it online.
That's right.
And so I would feel a lot more comfortable knowing that they have. So, all right, let's talk a minute about, do your students come like right out? I mean, I know the evening you just talked about they were probably non-traditional students, which means they are adults that have been established a little bit with the family or this and that. But do you get them right out of high school? Is that where some of the daytime students come from?
We do, and it does.
Okay.
They are, it is more rare because a lot of times high school students have done well in high school, they're expecting it to be easy to press on. And if they apply by the deadline and pass the entrance exam, then we rank them a little different. We look at their ACT and if they had honors, science, and those types of things in high school, so we can kind of get a picture of how well they might do. And then once in a while, we'll have a high schooler start and finish. They graduate in May, they start in August, and then they graduate in 2 years and
How wonderful.
begin a program. But it's more rare because sometimes when they get to that very first nursing course, that's a 9-hour course, they go, oh well, this is too much for me. They usually will withdraw, take a few more classes, and then apply the next time and come back in another session. Our average age at the college, I believe, is around 28, and I would say that nursing has that same makeup is around those. We have had nursing students as old as 54 to complete, something they always wanted to do.
That's exciting.
It is exciting. And then this past May, we did have a high schooler who came straight in, and so she's 20 years old and is a registered nurse.
That's wonderful. I could see where with nursing that there would need to be a little bit of a maturity situation that may be coming right out of high school. Not to say that you kids aren't mature when you come out of high school, but I would assume that there would be a little bit of a maturity situation. There's a lot of responsibility to being a nurse.
There is a lot of responsibility, and I think that people don't necessarily recognize the responsibility and the calling that I think it really implies in someone's life. It is a job that is steady, is a job that pays well. You can become one in 2 or 3 years based on where you begin, but if you don't love it and if it's not what you want to be doing, you're not going to be happy being a nurse. But I've been a nurse for a long time, and it has served me well, and I've had many opportunities to care for patients I never did care for pediatric patients because that's such a specialty, but I have done intensive care and cardiac rehab and geriatric patients. So the options are just wide open for nurses and to get into the field where they want to be.
See, I think it's wonderful that you just said that, because when I went to UT to do a master's degree in elementary education, my professors up there would say, now here's what you're supposed to do, and if this situation arises, you're supposed to do this. So finally I asked one of them, when was the last time you were in the classroom? They had never been in the classroom. They did a BS degree, a master's degree, and a doctorate and started teaching. So you've been there. You've been in the trenches. So I think that's wonderful, because when you tell the girls a situation, or guys, then you know what you're talking about.
Yes, and most of the faculty still work at an outside job as well, because it really works out, it really helps them as they take students into a clinical situation, if they know the staff, if they are still familiar with the most recent medications, those types of things. Almost all of them work alongside their job as faculty.
Now let's talk about clinical situations a minute. When you say clinical situations, I'm assuming we're going out into a hospital.
That's correct.
Okay.
And Cleveland State has had a long-standing relationship with Bradley Memorial and then Sky Ridge as they have arrived, and we use almost all of their floors as far as the cardiac floor, intensive cares, OB, labor and delivery area. We do some of the we observe in the OR and in the emergency room and in like radiology and some of those areas. We have great experiences there. Our evening group and day groups go there.
So do they go in mass, or do they go individually, or how does this work?
Most of the time in mass with an instructor present. Well, there's always an instructor involved, but when the instructor's in the building, they are allowed to, one student go, for instance, and observe a CAT scan or observe in surgery, that sort of thing. But there's always a faculty member involved, and we have great experiences there.
That is super, and that's one reason I wanted to have Nancy on today with Coleman and Paul, because I wanted everybody to see that the nursing that goes on with the hospital is quality, folks. It's quality.
Mm-hmm.
And now let's go back to and I'm not going to, because I'm not really good with bedpans. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so and some body fluids I'm not really good with, but if someone wanted to be a nurse, you've told us how you do the procedure, but then how many students would you have in the program that's going to start in, next semester?
Well, we started in August with a
Okay.
new class of around 80.
Oh, okay,
And,
that many.
Yes, and then the evening class has 50. The group that moved up to the sophomore year, the second year, because of some withdrawals and those types of things, they have over 90 in the second year.
Golly, Nancy,
So-
I didn't realize that y'all could handle that many at a time.
Well, it is a dilemma.
Is it like a little juggling
it
act?
is.
Okay.
Mhm.
Now, how much staff do you have working with you?
Well, the physical education department is with health and wellness, and
Okay.
emergency medical technicians are also with us, EMTs. So altogether with support staff, there's 15 of us.
All right, and you all are handling 90 plus 50, 140 students during a semester.
Well, I
And-
also have some adjunct faculty.
Oh,
We have
okay.
the Board of Nursing regulates how many students can go with an instructor
All
into
right.
a clinical setting. So we are really blessed to have the appropriately trained people who are willing to work part-time in an adjunct capacity at the clinical site. And so they're not allowed to go with more than 10 in tow. And the other thing is that the hospital sometimes, not just Skyridge, but other facilities where we go, regulate that they can only have 8 or 6 in
Oh,
a certain
okay.
setting. So we
Well-
have to abide by that.
Yeah, and I can see if you're in ER, it could get crowded.
Well, yeah, if 10 people standing around or trying to follow around, it would be
Right.
dangerous, actually.
Actually, I can see where that would happen. So if anyone is interested, they can go online to the website at Cleveland State. Do you know what that website is?
Yes,
Okay.
it's www.clevelandstatecc.edu.
.edu. Now, Brene and I are usually telling you all that we're orgs on here, but this is an EDU, like Lee University and any other school around is an EDU. So go online and
Type nursing in the search box. Then halfway down the page it says nursing application and information packet, and you can go there. And the next one for 2013 admission is there. The evening one is not updated at this point, but you can still look at the information packet, and the entrance requirements are exactly the same for evening or day. And like I say, we're real proud of our program and feel like we do a quality job.
I think you do too, because the times that I've been at Skyridge, I've had wonderful nursing care. I didn't ask where they've got their degree, but I've had wonderful care. Nancy, thank you so much for taking your time out today. I know you've got a busy day ahead of you and probably a lot of classes and a lot of kids, and y'all got some exciting things happening on the campus. So thank you so much for being with us today. And folks, don't go away. I'll be right back with your calendar of events of things that you don't need to miss this weekend. So don't go away.
Great local sports right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television. Keep up to date on all your Walker Valley sports news Wednesdays with the Walker Valley Sports Zone. Get a behind-the-scenes look at all the local high school area football with the pregame Thursdays at 10. And it's a Friday night tradition. Football Friday, every Friday night at 11 o'clock. Right here on WTNB East Tennessee Television.
Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast in Cleveland is the place to find quality pre-owned cars and trucks. Kyle offers on-the-spot financing on all vehicles on the lot. Each pre-owned vehicle goes through a complete inspection to make sure each car and truck meets the Kyle Motors standard. Warranty and extended warranties available on all vehicles. Kyle Motors will sell you a car or truck that you will be proud to drive for many years to come. See Tony, Bill, Dale, James, or David and let them put you in your next quality pre-owned vehicle. Kyle Motors, 802 20th Street Southeast. Phone 790-7100.
At Crawford Pharmacy, we offer custom compounding. Our pharmacists are known for their attention to detail and unique expertise. So visit us at 2260 Chambliss Avenue, Cleveland, Tennessee. For personal assistance, walk right in or come up to our convenient drive-thru. Crawford Pharmacy, serving our community one person at a time.
Has your disability application been denied? Are you frustrated with the administration's processing of your claim? Do you feel as though the administration simply does not understand why you cannot work? You're not alone. My name is Matthew Coleman and I'm an attorney representative. I find that many of my clients share these concerns and others. As a representative, it's my job to communicate your claim to the administration in a language that they can understand. As an attorney, it's my duty to fight for the disability benefits that you deserve. Come talk to me. The Social Security Law Center at Logan Thompson, PC.
Featuring some of the South's most scenic views, the Mountain View Inn has been a landmark in the Cleveland community for over 40 years. Our executive guest quarters with flat-screen TVs and excellent bedding will make any guest comfortable. Carrie's Restaurant is one of Cleveland's favorite, with one of the best buffets around.
Hello, and on behalf of the Hughes family, thank you for so many years of your business and your friendship.
Town Americana, where trucks are big and bold, and a handshake is firm, and your word is gold. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens is a $2,000 drive. Maybe you're coming from here or here, doesn't matter. Buying a truck from Don Ledford in Athens will save you at least $2,000. Don Ledford Chevy Buick GMC in Athens, a $2,000 drive worth making.
I'll take that drive every time.
And we are back, or I am back. Bernae's not with us today, and Coleman had to go, and Paul had to go, and Nancy had to go, so you have me. So I do want to report that the two absolutely adorable dogs that we had on last week, the one that was a black lab, and I think part Weimaraner, and then the little tiny puppy that curled up in Bernae's lap and went to sleep, both of those were saved. They were adopted, and you know their time had run out. So go online for the city shelter and look at these dogs because they're there, and some of them don't have much time left, folks. And I did happen to see Monday, I was at the Main Street meeting, and the lady from the Ark said that the cute little dogs we had on from the Ark, two of the three of those were adopted. The one that kept sitting in my lap looking me in the face, Bambi, was adopted, and the one that Bernae had, the very active one that crawled all over her, was also adopted. So that's what we're trying to do. Now, we didn't have dogs today because Bernae's not on here, and Bernae's the one that handles booking the dogs for us and everything. So next week when we come back, we will have some more dogs for you all to adopt, and not just dogs. Occasionally we're going to have cats. So be sure you watch, and let's find homes for these. We want to say welcome to the new president of the Junior Achievement, Tracy McCartney. She will be on with us in October, and she'll tell us a little bit about herself. And she's a great gal. And it's super, super to have her. Sandy Moore had been with us for 11 years and retired. And I think Oh, yes, she should be in Paris right now. She took off. I mean, when she retired, she took off, which was great. The Cowpea Festival was wonderful. I'm sure that was the first annual. Just great. Big crowds, a lot of vendors. And Richmond Flowers, who is the culinary teacher at Bradley High School, won the Cowpea Cook-Off. So I hope you all got over there and enjoyed all of that. Couple of things that are coming up that I need to let you know about. There is a license plate show set for September 22nd at the Tri-State Exhibition Center from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. East Cleveland School is going to have a reunion Saturday, the 22nd, at Bradley High School Cafeteria at 6 o'clock. Tickets are available at the Town Square Men's Store, Davis Heating and Air, Bank of Cleveland, at the Paul Huff Parkway. The Main Street Cruise-In is this Saturday. Begins at 3 and goes till about 9 o'clock. You have the Cleveland Middle School Dance Team at 3 o'clock. Chilhowie Dance and Performing Arts Dance Team at 3:30. Ocoee Middle School Cheer Team at 4. And I think they have a band schedule, so that's around the courthouse square. So be sure that you go down and look at all those cars. I think we have between 500 and 700 cars that show up there. The Restore, Habitat Restore, if you need some Halloween costumes, they have some. Children's costumes, $5, adult costumes, $10. I know it's not Halloween yet, but you probably want to go over there and check that out. This evening, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow at the Dixon Center, $5, and it's appropriate for all ages, so you want to go see that. That's the Bright Star Touring Theater is doing that. They also did The Lady of Bullyburg, and that we had some schools attending that, so that is great. Tomorrow here at Cleveland State, you have Home Remedies live, and next Tuesday is Building Energy Smart Homes. So information on that, 473-2341. Friday and Saturday, the Persian Galleries will be at the Cleveland Country Club if you're interested in that. And I'm running through these real quickly, folks, because I'm backing up on saying goodbye to you all. But Saturday, Island Oasis Market on Inman Street has tickets, live in concert at the Barn, Mother's Finest. And this is the barn that's out off of Eureka Road, so you may want to see about that. And Monday at Cleveland Country Club is the Becky Cook Smith Memorial Golf Tournament. So BrittanyCook@gmail.com for information about that. So folks, we tried to cram it all in here as quickly as we could today, and we hope that you've gotten a lot of your medical information and a lot of these events that you will be able to go and attend this weekend. So we will be back next week, and don't forget, we'll be back with little doggies next week, and most of them need new homes, and they need forever homes. So we hope you all will be back with us, and Brene will be back with me next week so that I'll have somebody to kind of fuss at a little bit. So I'll see you next Thursday, and y'all have a great weekend.